Okay, so we have this ECG synthetic signal generator. You can play with a lot of parameters. This is an old one, so we covered it already multiple times. Except that now we have better models that can write code, better code. So we'll be actually improving on it. We'll leave this one as is. Someone is actually asking about the PQRS and QRST delays, which are the delays between, so you have the QRS, a complex within the ECG. I'm not an expert in it, by the way, but it should be PQRST, right? So PQRS and T, a T wave, P wave. So the PQRS delay, which is currently set at 25 milliseconds, if that was actually functioning, that feature of changing that delay, you should, if increasing it, that a P wave should have been coming earlier, so further away from the R peak. So it's a nifty little tool, but yeah, quite a few things don't work. It's also, for whatever reason, has a backend which we might then get rid of. Yeah, might then get rid of it. Okay, we have the BPM, they're working fine. Obviously the BPM is highly dependent on the window size, so don't forget, yeah, 10 seconds is the maximum, then you can change the BPM, so you essentially have more of this. But you can also trick it by, well, just increasing the window size. Yeah, so you just have to make sure you're aware what the window size is. A BPM noise, here I have some variability to the peaks. Let's reset it. Just reset it by resetting the page. There's no button for it. And you can add the white noise and 50 Hertz. A mains hum noise as well. Let's reset, and you can keep generating variations of the same waveform with the same settings. So that's pretty much all it does. Now we gave it to all three, so we now have new AI code generating, or reasoning, whatever they call the large language models. They're now multimodal as well, so they can do code, images, video, and the likes. So all three is a reasoning model, and this is what it said when we just shared essentially the description of what the older version of the signal generator, the ECG synthetic signal generator, does. So it reasoned for a whopping 39 seconds, which is in machine time forever, and it came up with a plan. It generated Python code and actually executed it on the cloud, on its own server. It generated this synthetic ECG, which obviously has quite a few issues with it, as you can tell. Not sure if you're familiar with ECG or not, but yeah, if you just look up a regular ECG. Yeah, so we're doing just a quick recap. We're doing ECG synthetic signal generator. This one existed on the website. You can go check it out. I'll share the link. You can go check it yourself. Let's share the link in the chat. Yeah, and someone was asking, why am I not able to adjust the PQRS delay, which is the delay between the P wave and the R peak, and the QRST, the delay at the end of the ECG waveform. And this is because in this version of the simulator, it wasn't implemented yet. So it's just a placeholder. Yeah, all three is out. Uses advanced reasoning, and after another prompt, long story short, it was able to generate a hyper realistic ECG waveform. You can see an example of it over here. It's actually it has a variable RR intervals, so the intervals between the R peaks are variable. Do they? Actually measuring it with my thumb, yeah, they look like they are variable. Calibration pulse, 1 millivolt square at the very left. Okay, so it did a calibration pulse for whatever reason. Yeah, it's just trying to make it hyper realistic, as if you're actually recording it in in the clinical environment. Yep, variable RR intervals, physiologic PQRST QT segments, flat section between them. Yeah, we got that. What else? U waves, small humps, 150 milliseconds after each T wave. Okay. Can't actually see it. Is it? Wait. Somewhere there. That's okay. We have the respiratory baseline wonder. It's a gentle 0.25 hertz drift. So that's what you see. Yeah, the low frequency component of it is that the baseline drift, baseline wonder, white, and 50 hertz noise, continuous background. Yeah, we see that. A motion artifacts is even introduced. 4 brief noisy spikes. Look at 0.6, 1.4 seconds, 0.6, 1.4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 motion artifacts. That's really nice. Thank you very much. Amplitude variability, subtle beat-to-beat scaling. I can't really see it, but yeah, I believe it's there. A multi-lead simulation. Okay, so it's actually letting us download the CSV, which I did download. Yeah, and it looks like this. It has lead 1, 2, and 3. A time. I'm not sure where this stuff is actually being saved, because it's not like you using what's called the Google Colab thing. Yeah, and we do eventually want to simulate all sorts of heart conditions. Tachycardia, pediatric. A full 12 lead set, that will be nice. Insert pathology, replace regular PRR list with randomly distributed intervals. Yes, we can simulate the A-Fib. And what else can we do? Add an offset to the ST segment for ischemia scenarios. And export in MITBIH format. Okay, we'll have the function to export. But the question now is if we can actually turn it into a web application. And yes, we might have a few issues with that, specifically with high sampling rate. Might slow things down. Yeah, we could potentially have other issues as well. Licensing, yeah, whatever. Security, well, yeah, it's essentially open source. So you could see the code in the browser. Yeah, we don't mind using math.js. I don't think we need a web worker, do we? And what plotting library should we use? Any suggestions are welcome. A maximum window length, sample, a sampling rate, are they truly needed? Well, maybe they only need it when you're exporting to file, but for visualizing stuff on the screen, and not really. Export formats. Yeah, we could export it as an image. be nice and easy. Pathology plugins. Architect the code for future A-Fib and STEMI modules. Drop in cleanly. Yeah, the question, we should be introducing those to begin with, don't we? Yeah, that was another thing that was that is currently not available in the current web application. It's that drop-down for changing a normal, supposedly the drop-down should have abnormal, A-Fib, so on and so forth. So in the web application, if we are having a drop-down of ECG signal type, and the default is normal, if we are having a drop-down of the different types of ECG, normal and abnormal, what should the list include? Do we still need all three? I'm pretty sure all 4 all would have been able to answer this. Yeah, so we would have a normal. Let the bot actually read this. Okay, so let's go over this quickly. Yeah, essentially the synthetic ECG that it generated the image for, an example of a 3-lead CSV file. They look good. I haven't checked the CSV, but the image looks really, really good. I'm not sure if we need the calibration pulse. I mean, we don't have a calibration function. We might actually have this as another web application of how you calibrate a recording, as in we're like simulating a setup. But maybe if in this case we can assume the setup is okay. Yeah, I'm thinking, so for each one of those variable RR intervals, the physiologic PRST, QT segments, yeah, all these variables, we should have a collapsible option to change those, but then mainly relying on the drop down for normal, for like preset settings. It's listed above. Yeah, the parameter ranges, I don't know, do they look legit? Do we have an expert in the room? Yes, we have the preset as a JSON file. Okay, do we need a second degree AV block mobits too? Considering I don't know what it is. Probably not. Okay, I'm not sure about the AV block mobits. I assume we already have an AV block, like a regular AV block. I'm not sure what the difference would be. So any suggestions are welcome. Yeah, we do like a canvas working on most mobiles, on most screen sizes. That would be great. Yeah, we do have to take into account that exposing every parameter can overwhelm the user. Yeah, we could have tiered reveal, basic, intermediate, expert. Actually sounds good. But yeah, we don't want to make the web application overly complicated as well. I assume the basic, intermediate, expert will be in separate tabs, would it? Any suggestions are welcome. At the moment, the data export, yeah, it would be nice to have a basic export function. Let's just go for the CSV and the PNG image. I'm not sure. What do you mean in item 5, the pedagogic aids? Yeah, maybe ignore them for now. It didn't actually do its reasoning business. Should we actually be coding with O4 mini high? Because it says it's great for coding. Not sure. Well, we also have GitHub Copilot. Yeah, the preset list should be fine. Essentially, yeah, you make a decision on that one, on what the drop-down list should be. The sampling default, yeah, 250 should be plenty. That should be fine. Okay, generally, yeah, the basic, intermediate, expert sounds good. I'm not entirely sure what you mean by accordion wording. I assume those will be separate tabs that you could select, but yeah, ideally would like to avoid tabs and just have a single page, like a single page web application would be ideal. We still would like for it to fit into one screen, so everything is visible at once. Yeah, not sure about the Mobits algorithm. Maybe you can make a suggestion on that one. Yeah, and 10 seconds should be plenty, but not sure if we need an option to reduce, to change the window size. Okay, I like it. Okay, so we have the final list of preset Dropdown. So we have AF, Atrial Flutter, Atrial fibrillation, Tachycardia, AV blocks. Okay, so we have the basic layout, about 25-30% controls and 70-75% canvas plus timeline. Okay, I need to see it to believe it. Okay, and we have controls, basic, intermediate, expert, closed by default, so only basic is visible. That sounds legit. I'm not sure about this bit. Yeah, we're changing window size. Yeah, it's actually making some decisions as well, which would be better than my own, considering I don't know much about it. More than happy to get any expert input on this. And we have some remaining clarification. Yeah, so sampling is 250 Hz. That should be fine. No user control. Calibration pulse. Yeah, we don't need it. So yeah, I don't think we need a checkbox for it at all anywhere. Export button, yes, choice between CSV and PNG just for image or the data. And noise controls, yeah, we would like noise controls. Maybe you can make a decision where exactly to place them. I don't mind. Okay, so we have a finalized UX map. Okay, so I have a project structure. Where's the explanation for each file? Well, they kind of should be straightforward, except the split for the two JSON files. Now it all looks good. I think just keep going with all three. You know, later if we actually have like all the description of the web application, we can then try other models for generating the code, and also GitHub Copilot as well. Okay, who is the developer? Who is the developer? Okay, don't worry about deploying. We already have a running website, so we're just adding this to an existing website, so it should be fine. We are hosting ourselves, and yeah, so if you can actually generate the code, that will be awesome. Actually forgot to ask how many leads are we generating, and is there an option to choose the number of leads or not at the moment? So currently we're only doing one synthetic channel designed to look like lead 2 tracing. The CSV has a time column and the actual data column. Now actually can we generate like 3 or 4 leads? Say 4 leads. Okay, say 3 leads, 1, 2, 3 to begin with. But then actually in the settings have an option to generate all the way up to 12 leads. So all the way from 1 to 12. And yeah, obviously we need to consider if that's just an option for the download, or is it what we are displaying on the screen as well. like on the web application front page as well. How heavy, like, I mean, is it so too much to ask to actually display all 12 leads on the front panel? Why do we need 60 frames per second? I didn't quite get, why did you mention 60 frames per second? Surely we don't need that much. And yeah, I really like your recommendation, so showing more on desktop and less on mobile, just so, yeah, so we make sure everything fits within the screen. Okay, I think it looks good. Shall we regenerate the whole code? Perhaps do it from scratch, making sure everything is working correctly and nothing is missing. Okay, I'm not sure with the uPlot version. There's a problem that the link is not available. Can you check if everything is correct and update the code? So currently, if you go to the basic npm uPlot link, it tells that it gives a version of 1.6.32. Can you check that? It's actually giving a newer version. For whatever reason, should we just have the uPlot locally? Yeah, there's also a question, should we download these dependencies, the uPlot, or just use the most recent one or specify a specific version? Yeah, it went for 1.7.9. We have to change that. We have a 12 lead ECG generation JavaScript code. Assuming it is complete. Yeah, we'll have some trouble with this one. The lead that doesn't like it. Yeah, we can specify a version, or we do want to fix a version eventually. So eventually we'll either download it, or are we missing the preset? So we have the menu for it with all the settings and stuff. Have an export button. Yeah, all three. And just give it all the errors, it will fix the code for us. The canvas is not showing. The menu, the controls seem promising. Yeah, do we need to regenerate the preset JSON file as well? We might have to continue this next time. Stay tuned and go check out the website. Everything we do eventually available on this side. Yeah, next time we actually have the thing working. So yeah, we actually have to obviously see how accurate this is. It doesn't look great. The noise is distorting it too much. If you remove noise and change the PR timing, it's actually working okay. Yeah, it's that blip there that is moving away from the peak. 320 is the max, and now it should be coming closer to the peak. Yeah, it does. So that's really nice. What's the minimum for it? 80. Yeah, 80 is when it's like almost overlapping onto the QRS. So that's really nice. Thank you very much. Obviously we need more testing, and I don't know why the noise is making things so much worse. You wouldn't expect it. Actually, noise can reduce it. You can just add a bit of white noise just to make it look more realistic. Yeah, the view is not great. It could have been much larger. Can switch between 3 leads to 12 lead. ECG can change your BPM, beats per minute, and have your different conditions as well. But we really need an expert to check this. In A-Fib, yeah, have this variability between the peaks. And we'll keep testing it next time. But everything we do eventually appears on this side, so don't forget to check it out. It will be in the list, or you could also use this drop down to select which topics you are after. So it will be under cardio. Bye.